Hi, welcome to Career Advisement 101. We put this course together as a bonus course. This will help to give you a start as you look into the cannabis industry. I'll be your trainer. My name is Shannon Jaramillo. The objectives for this class are to provide some information on working in the medical cannabis field in New Mexico. I'd like to try to boost your confidence and give you guys a place to start. I'll also be providing access to job search and training resources so that you know exactly what to do and who to turn to when you really start getting serious about your job search. Let's get started. So, when you start to look into the New Mexico Medical Cannabis Program, where should you start? I recommend that you take a look at the New Mexico Department of Health website. Everything about the program will be found there. Another thing that you should really consider doing is looking at the Lynn and Aaron Compassionate Use Act. Now, we're not going to go over a lot of this stuff here in this presentation. Cannabis NM Staffing does have a full class with a certificate of completion on the Lynn and Aaron Compassionate Use Act. So what I'm going to be doing is just providing you with some tips and starting points. Another thing you'll want to do is look at the 22 qualifying conditions and the criteria to get your medical cannabis program ID card. These are some of the things you really need to do in order to have a baseline of information and a starting point. As you're learning about how to get started in working in the cannabis industry, there's a learning curve, right? And so some more baseline information that we recommend that you get a hold of is learn about the patient, caregiver, and personal production license application process. Again, you can refer to the Department of Health website for that, or you can come and take any one of our classes. We do discuss that process at Cannabis NM Staffing. Also learn about the businesses, how they're set up to produce, distribute, manufacture, and test cannabis. Learn about the certifying practitioners, the requirements, the protections, and their role in the program. And then also you want to know how are decisions made. You can look again, like I said, on the Department of Health website at the Medical Cannabis Advisory Board to see how program decisions are made on a yearly basis. Next, let's jump into probably the part of this presentation that you really want to know about. What are the requirements to work for a licensed nonprofit producer, manufacturer, courier, or lab operating in the New Mexico Medical Cannabis Program under the Lynn and Aaron Compassionate Use Act? Well, one of the main requirements to work in the field is that every employee gets their MCP ID license card. This is an ID that all employees carry as they're working for a licensed business. In order to qualify for this card, you would need to provide an in-state ID, get your HIPAA certificate of completion that is valid within this year, have a food handler safety certificate of completion, again, also valid for the year, and then have your state and federal backgrounds run showing no major crime or felonies. From there, there's an on-site or third-party compliance curriculum that is called for all licensed employees who want to work for the New Mexico Medical Cannabis Program or for a business under the NMMCP, and that entails completing core compliance training. According to the Lynn and Aaron Compassionate Use Act, or more specifically, the New Mexico Administrative Code 7.34.4, all businesses must provide a core compliance training curriculum on site for their employees, or they must find a third party to provide that. Within that model, employees must take a HIPAA class, a Lynn and Aaron Compassionate Use Act class, a safety and security class, an ethics and code of conduct class, a research and developments in cannabis class, as well as a food handler's safety class. Some of the professional knowledge that we believe anyone working in the field or even having a business in the cannabis field should have is that they should really know about the state and federal law. Take time to understand the history and the politics of cannabis so that you can wrap your mind around the stigma and how things work really from a societal perspective. And then also you want to take time to start to dive into some of the following subjects so that you'll feel more confident as you're working in the field. If you're working with cannabis, you really should know how it works with your body, how it is grown, and how it works up against certain qualifying conditions. Some of the classes that we provide at Cannabis NM Staffing and that we recommend revolve around topics such as the endocannabinoid system, THC, CBD, and other cannabinoids, methods of ingestion or routes of administration. Now that we've discussed some of the baseline knowledge that we feel is important for you to have as you get started, let's talk about advocacy and networking. As I'm looking into the field, I'm finding that those who attend conferences, classes, and events are usually those who get scouted or picked to work in the field first. So if you can, join local and national advocacy groups so that you can meet people. We also are finding that a lot of social media access for patients as well as people looking into the field is available. So look online for social media patient and advocacy groups. Try to network and volunteer as much as possible. And most importantly, find the centers of influence in your natural market. Sit down with them. Let them know that you want to go into medical cannabis. Gain their support and ask for referrals. Speaking of centers of influence, you can consider Cannabis NM Staffing a center of influence or a referral to you as you look into the industry. We're an established training and staffing company dedicated to the cannabis and hemp industry. So we're helping businesses to find, train, and retain top talent as we provide industry education for professionals. Right now, if you go to cannanmstaff.com, you'll find information on how we provide staffing for businesses who want to hire. And then you'll also find information on our 5-star job verification program. If you apply, you'll be able to jump right in and get started with us so we can help you with your job search. Some of the other stuff that we do is we provide medical cannabis program, ID license, employee card facilitations. So we help people to become compliant in the field. We also provide the online core compliance training for businesses. So all of that training that you saw on the previous slide that the businesses need to have for their employees is what we provide at Cannabis NM Staffing. We're able to support the businesses and the employees through our online core compliance training. Another thing that we do is live community trainings and events. We hope you'll come and join us at one of those soon. So what is our 5-star program? Well, like the Med Badge in Colorado, Cannabis NM Staffing has a 5-star program. This is a program that assists in the compliance gap of education that exists in New Mexico. Again, we're referring back to that core compliance training curriculum. Our 5-star program provides state-specific relevant training to assist with the industry federal and state regulations. So basically, we're able to vet, qualify, and credential the workforce for employers. It also doubles as an empowerment program so that those who are looking into the field can go through our program and apply on their own. It's a great place for those who are looking into the cannabis industry to get started. The 5 components of our 5-star program entail completing a staffing agreement and application, sending in a resume and cover letter, completing the MCP ID license card requirements, the core compliance training, and then also completing the selection process. If you complete all 5 of those tasks, then you have become a 5-star candidate through Cannabis NM Staffing. Let's talk about resumes and cover letters. We're seeing that a lot of people have questions about the Canna resume. The Canna resume is a customized resume to communicate how your skill set fits into the job at a licensed or ancillary cannabis or hemp business. The Canna cover letter is the same. It's a traditional format of a cover letter providing an introduction to the employer about why you're interested in the role and how your skill set translates into the role. A simple formula for a customized resume and cover letter can be seen as follows on this slide. If you're going to submit a resume, we suggest that you keep it to 1 page, use 9 to 10 sized font, and always keep a digital file that's updated. If you do decide to look into the cannabis industry, please decide to customize your resume, because sometimes as a recruiter, we're only looking at these resumes for 20 to 30 seconds. And I want you guys to get used to putting things on your resumes that are jumping out at recruiters and human resources hiring managers. The key things to include are a heading, professional summary or objective, skills pertaining to the job you're applying to, work experience, and then always include education, affiliations, and organizations. On your cover letter, I'd like you to simplify. Think about using traditional format. Address it to the hiring manager or human resources, and use professional cannabis language. Be concise in expressing your desire to work for the company, and also give a brief explanation of how your skill set fits into that role. Please also plan to follow up from there. Oftentimes, these hiring managers at licensed businesses get a lot of resumes and cover letters, so have a plan in place within 48 hours to follow up. Now that you've looked at how you're going to go about getting a job, you want to consider looking at your skill set and how it matches to the job roles that are available in the industry. This is just a brief list of job roles to get you started. Customer service and retail folks, for example, tend to become bud tenders, peer educators, CBD specialists, and consultants. Commercial farmers tend to become growers in the cannabis industry. If you're in marketing, social media, or web design, well, you tend to go into marketing in the field because we need everybody, even marketing folks. Accountants tend to become accountants or bookkeepers. As you can see, the formula is very simple. So don't try to overcomplicate it when you're looking into the field. Just take your skill set, look at the job role, and then match it up. Let's do a quick recap. Some of the things I want you guys to be thinking about as you look into the field. I want you to be thinking about how to gain a foundation of information or knowledge about the New Mexico Medical Cannabis Program. I want you to be thinking about the stigma or the civics piece. So look into the laws, history, politics, both at a state and federal level. And then when you're thinking about what it takes to qualify to work, remember the qualifications and the training we went over. Try to understand that this is a very regulated marketplace and it will only become more regulated as time goes on. So you really want to get your footing around compliance training. Then take your resume, refresh it, update it, customize it, and do the same thing with your cover letter. Look at your skill set, look at the roles that are available in the industry, and then try to match them up accordingly. That's the only way to get your footing in this industry at this time. You may also consider going through the 5-star programs and the core compliance training for the industry through Cannabis and Staffing. We're here to help you guys. I hope you liked this career advisement class. Thanks.